Good morning. Been a while since I made a video. Had a request out there on YouTube to create a video showing Type 2 IIW block before I used a Type 1 for ultrasonics. Today just wanted to show a Type 2, see what the difference was, and then look at a pipe I've got over here. Kind of take a gander at some of these things to see what the pipe actually would look like for work with an actual ultrasonic test. So, get up zoomed up here. We can see a little bit of the scope. Get you kind of repositioned there. Looking at it off to the side, so not such a bad glare. Alright, we're sitting at 100 inches. I'm just going back to that 10 inches. Okay, I got 0 probe delay. I have a longitudinal velocity, so I'm going to take that down to shear wave. About 0.13 will get us close or get a good start. And then I've got a display delay of 0 as well. I'm going to go to my probe I have here, and I have a 5 megahertz probe. So if I go to receiver, I'm on 5 megahertz. Okay, for now we'll leave it there. Positive half wave, I'm kind of a full wave guy. Dual's off, that's good. I'm going to go back to my home menu here. Just kind of see where I'm at. In my home menu, scroll down just a little bit here. Whoops. Alright. So I'm back to my home menu, kind of see where I'm at. There's my 10 inches again. Put my transducer together. I've already put some couplant between the wedge and the transducer. Okay. Here's my Type 2 IIW block. Okay, we know it's Type 2. It says it on the side here. You might not be able to see it. Our blocks have been kind of worn out, but it does say Type 2 upside down. If we can get that there. Okay, there it is, says Type 2. So now, instead of having indications at 4 and 9, we should have indications at 2 and 4. Okay, so I'm just putting a little couplant down here. 10-inch shear wave screen, my cable stretched out here. Okay, and I'll move the unit here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, got my probe right down here, side of my block. I'm just moving it back and forth over that 0, and I should be seeing stuff at 2 and 4. Okay, I've got one, roughly about 4.5. I'm raising my gain here. Take it up to about 40. That's going to be plenty high enough. Going through the roof, you can see there, that's my signal at 4. If I move over to the 2-inch side, there it comes up. Okay, so now I'm going to peak those signals up, just like I would normally. Okay. Peak those up. Now I need to move them with my probe delay, so that way if I put in calculations on my unit, I can do that. And the probe delay is going to help us keep everything adequate. Okay, looking for where the signal breaks the baseline. See if we can zoom in a little bit more. Not a whole bunch there, but you can still see what's going on. We've got our 2 and 4. I'm going to take my velocity and bring it in just a little bit. Then I'm going to back my delay off just a hair. Okay, that's close. Not perfect, but it's close. Get us what we need, at least for now. So I'm going to go to gates. Gate A starts here. That's out. That's great. My gate A is flank. Alright, that's good. That's all good. Horn is off. I don't have anything going on right now. So I'm going to go back to home. I go to basic menu. Options and results here. I'm going to turn on, that's signal percentage in gate A. I'm going to go to sound path in gate A, which is 2 inches. Then I'm going to go to sound path in gate B, which is about 4 inches, which is what I want. And I'm just doing this just for different information. And that's the difference between gate A and B. So I'm going to go, just give me something here. It doesn't really matter what it is. We'll leave it off. We don't really need it right now. So, sound path in gate A, sound path in gate B. We're pretty close. Okay, if we bring these in, you see we're getting farther and farther out. We're very, very close to where we should be. I don't want to go too awful far. I'm just playing now, really. Anyway, I'm thousandths of an inch off. That's not going to be enough to bother me. I'm just really playing. Close enough. I'll take 7 thousandths on my reading up here. I turned all these readings on, and you can see sound path in gate A right here, 2 inches 8 thousandths, and then I get over here, make that signal come back through. I'm at 4 inches 8 thousandths, and that's what I'm showing in my signal right there. So let me get kind of set back here, back out a little bit, so you can see exactly what we're talking about. Got problems with my camera this morning. It's an early Tuesday morning, so you know it's just like a Monday except one day after. Alright, so I'm set up on my 2 and 4. I need to make sure that my refraction angle is good. I'm using a 60 degree probe, so I'm going to go back over here for my 60 degrees. Okay, pick this guy up. I know you can't see what I've got going on here, so let me move the block over here in front. Right here is my 60 degree mark. Okay, so I'm just peeking up over the top of my 60 degree mark, but move that out of the way so you can see what's going on the screen. That's more important at this point. Okay, peek up my signal. I look right at my block here. Let me kind of move this so you can see what I got going on. I'm right over the top of my 60 degree. Okay, that's where I need to be. So, I know that's good. Verify my refraction angle. Got my 2 and 4 inches set up. That's what I need as well. And then I've already checked my beam exit point, and it is right on where it's supposed to be. Like I said, I got some issues with my camera here. So now I'm going to set my sensitivity, which we always do. Okay, I'm kind of doing this to D11 here. Just rough calibrations. Okay, if you were wanting specific, absolute, perfect calibrations, this is done in a lab, kind of in the field is what I'm looking at here. So I need to raise my gain to get that sensitivity up. 50% screen height. Okay, I'm bouncing right around 50% there. I'm at 47 dB, 48 dB. That's not bad. And D11 is going to tell me, depending on thickness, I need to raise my gain. So I'm going to just say, for kicks and grins, that I need to raise my gain 14 dB. Okay, so 14 dB takes me about 61.8. Which you can see, I've gone completely through the 100% on my 60 thousandths hole, which is on my block here. Okay, just back out so you can see it. Here's my 60 thousandths hole right here, and then I'm pointed right at it, right over my 60 degree mark on my block. So now I'm going to switch gears here. Take that off. I get my calibration block out of the way. Bring in the pipe that I want to test. Pretty good size. Okay, about 3/4 of an inch thick. I'm just going to test this weld seam right here in just a short little area. So I'll show you that first, and then we'll go back to the scope. Alright, I'm going to turn okay here. Alright. So I would scrub this thing back and forth, okay, kind of raster scanning this, looking at the screen to see what I can see. Okay, and I'm seeing something back up over here. And I know I'm not actually starting and scanning like I should, according to D11, from a point Y and all this other stuff. I'm just kind of quick scanning here. Alright. So now let me kind of back out so you can see both of those going on at the same time. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so I'm scanning. Okay, and I've got a bunch of stuff going on here. And I'm looking, I'm just going rough right now. And there we go. I see something right over here. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here a little bit. I see something pretty good size right here. I'm not dealing with him yet. I'm kind of starting over here in the middle. And what I'm looking for is anything that really pops over the top of that 50% mark, which I know I've got something pretty big right there. Okay, I get back over here. Got a lot of stuff over 50%, but it's not holding necessarily perfectly constant, so I'm not as worried about it. As I look, I got everything popping back over 50. If I move past it real quick and it drops off, I'm going to come back and look at it later, but I'm looking for something big that's going to stay with me for a little bit. Okay? And I've got something right in here that's big and it stays with me. Stays over the top of 50%. Some of that is probe wobble, as you can see. But as I move across, I see a pretty good sized defect right in here. Okay, now granted, again, this is a known flaw standard, so it's a little bit easier for me. But I'm looking on my screen here, and I'm looking at about an inch, just past an inch. Okay, and you can see my sound path in gate A is about 1.3 inches. So now I could go from there, calculate, if I wanted to, from my surface distance and depth and all that stuff, exactly where this defect is. But what I'm looking for mainly is something that's going to jump right over 50% for me, because I use 50% as my reference line. So now that I've got my 50% as my reference line, I know that's where I'm going to start all of my calculations on defect sizing from. Okay? Hope that helps. Just a rough IIW type 2 calibration. Looking at a quick pipe here, and then there's the defect that I'm looking for. I'm right up next to my weld seam. If I back up, okay, there's that same defect again. That's third leg. Back up again, there's fifth leg, and I could keep going on back and back. But according to whatever spec you're going to be inspecting to, whatever procedure you're inspecting to, you might have to come back and inspect again from the other side. There's that same defect from the other side. Okay? So, any questions? Feel free to leave a comment, leave an email, anything like that on YouTube, and I'll be glad to answer them as quick as I can. I know this one was about a month overdue, but I apologize for that, and I'm finally getting a chance to do it. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to let me know. Thank you much.